शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्।
So I think we have to begin a new paragraph today. So the last statement in the Bhashya that we made was, Sarvatra Avibhijarat Nyaswarupasya Satyatvam. So what is the criterion to decide the absolute reality, the eternal truth? Sarvatra Avibhijarat, something that remains unchanging. Sarvatra here relates to Avastatraya, means whatever remains unchanging, without any change, without any modification, in the waking, dream and dreamless states, in the Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti stage. That is Abhibhichara, without any change. That is the only reality. Everything else is unreal. And that what is unreal doesn't mean absolutely unreal. It only means it is something that is not absolutely real. So it is relative. And that relative is called in Vedanta traditionally by the word mithya. So the word mithya as being normally defined as something that remains unchanging in the three states of time, the past, present and future. Trishu kaleshu yet na vibhijarati tadeva satyam, something that remains unchanging in all the three states of time, past, present and future, that is the reality. And that which changes in the past, present and future is the unreal, that is mithya. Now, in this particular section, and remember, the Upanishad, actually this Upanishad comes to an end with the seventh mantra. The remaining mantras and the Karigas constitute only an exposition, an expansion of what is already being explained up to the seventh mantra. So the Bhashya up to the end of the seventh mantra, that is Nanta Prakyam, the Vish Prakyam, Ubheda Prakyam, etc. That Bhashya is the core, the essence of the entire Mandukya Bhashyam. So in that Bhashya, Shankaracharya gives a broader definition to the word mithya. Mithya, he means that remains, that is changing in the avasthatraya. And he makes the statement by defining the reality as something that remains unchanging, the avasthatraya. So whatever else is left out, that is that which is subject to changes in the avasthatraya, is mithya, and that what remains unchanging in the three stages is satyam. So that's the sarvatra abhibijarat. Sarvatra here means the three stages, abhibijarat. No vibhijara, no change, no modification. in all the three states. Yasarupasya, that bodhaswarupa, bodhaspiranam, that is satyam, that is the definition of satyatvam. Now, at this stage, one question will arise, and Anandagiri says, Avibhijarit hetohu asiddhim shankate. Now, Anandagiri connects the different sections of the Bhashya. There is a change in Sushupti state. So, the definition of Mithyatvam as something that changes in all the three states, and the definition of Satyatvam as that which doesn't change in all the three states, remains unchanging. That is a problem. The problem, he says, Abhibhijarittu hetuhu asiddhim shankate sushupta idi. So, the sushupte vibhijarati idi chet. So, the shanka, the objection that is raised is connected to the Siddhanta Paksha that is being stated earlier. So, sushupte vibhijarati idi ched. Sushupte abhibhijarat asiddhim shankate. Na tatra chaitanyasya vibhijaraka sushuptasya spirana vyaptataya sadhaka spiranasya avashyakatvam pratipatite. It means there is a difference even for the absolute reality in all the three states. It doesn't remain unchanging, because in Sushupti this Chaitanya Spiranam is absent, because we don't feel ourselves we are seeing anything or experiencing anything as we do in Jagrat state and Swapna state. So in Jagrat and Swapna state, this Turiya is present, and Sushupti state it is not present. This is the possible doubt that comes from a different, it is not actually from another Purvapaksha or any particular system of philosophy, but it is possible. It is possible where somebody may feel this doubt. In order to answer the doubt, Bhashyakara says, no, Sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvad. So why do we experience that we had the Sushupti? Why do we remember we had good Sushupti? And why do we go through this blissful state and then we are able to recollect later the blissful state that we experience in Sushupti? So there is a connecting bridge, a connecting link between the Sushupti experience and waking state experience, the Jagrat experience, because we recollect the experience of Sushupti only in Jagrat state. In Sushupti state, we do not remember Sushupti. But in Jagrat state, we are able to recollect that we had, that means I had a good sleep. That means the I was present in Sushupti state. So, that is a Sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvad. In Sushupti state, we don't experience, but when we come out of Sushupti state, we remember that we experienced. So that means there is a connecting bridge. Nahi vijñātuhu vijñātehi vibhrilopo vidyate. So that Brihadaranyaka Sudhi is quoted here. Nahi vijñātuhu vijñātehi. So vijñāti here means that Sarupa, that is the both of Sarupa is vijñāti. And vijñāta and vijñātu shashti here means the person who experiences things, his ability to know or experience, and that is the jnana sarupa, bodha sarupa. That bodha sarupa, no viparilopa, it doesn't get decreased, it remains intact, it doesn't undergo any modification. That Brihadaranyaka Sudhi is quoted to answer this Shanka. Then the Bhashya continues, Ataeva adrishyam yasmat adrishyam tasmat avyavaharyam. Again now the Bhashya continues on the seventh mantra. The seventh mantra you should remember, Nanta prakyam, Dvavish prakyam, etc. Yasmat adrishyam. It is adrishtam. Jnaswarupa, it is not unknown. So, there is no question of either our knowing it or our not knowing it. It is our own Swarupa. So, we can't say that this Turiya is unseen or invisible, because seeing or being visible relate to something that can be seen. This Turiya is our own Swarupa. That's why it is not Ajneyam. So, Ateva Adrishyam, Adrishtam. Because it is never unknown. That's the idea behind. It is never unknown. Turiya is our own Swarupa, our own true nature. So, it can never be said to be unknown. न तत्र चैतन्यस्य विविचारक सुषुप्तस्य स्फुरणव्याप्ततया साधक स्फुरणस्य आवश्यकत्वम् इत्याह न सुषुप्तेरिति etc. The Bhashya continues, Tasmat avyavakaryam. Therefore, it cannot be understood, it cannot be subjected to any vyavahara. Vyavahara implies any kind of activity through the senses of perception, including mind. So that is called vyavahara. It cannot be comprehended. Why? It cannot be comprehended, and at the same time it is ever known, because it is our own Swarupa. That is avyavakaryam. It is not subject to any manasi kriya. Whatever is to be known at the empirical level using the senses of perception, that is jnanendriyas and mind, is subject to manasi kriya. So the Turiya is always our own Swarupa, so it is avyavakaryam. Agrahyam karmendriyehi. Then you cannot just hold it with any of the senses of action. So one thing is, the Turiya is not Ajneyam, it is not unknown, because it is our own nature, it is our own Swarupa. So it is Adrishtam and it is avyavakaryam. I mean, darshana, seeing, or vyavahara, comprehension, or any kind of manasi kriya is possible only in the context of something that is to be known, and only that which can be known can remain unknown. Turiya is the ever known, the ever present reality. So it is neither known nor unknown. So you find the old mantra is the, that is in the Kenopanishad, Tad vididhat atho avididhat ati. It is beyond the known and it is beyond the unknown. That's the idea behind. It is beyond the known and it is beyond the unknown. So that Kenopanishad mantra is relevant here. Alakshanam, alingamityedat. It doesn't have any lakshana. Means, here of course Anandagiri makes clear, alakshanam. Alakshanam ityuktam satyam jnanam anantam brahma ityadi lakshano uvalambhat idi ashankyaha. Now in the Taittiriya Upanishad you get the statement, that is satyam jnanam anantam brahma, etc. It is Swarupa lakshana of Brahman, or absolute reality. Now the question may arise, that is a Swarupa lakshana? Here the idea is, even that is an attempt to understand by words, to define by words what is beyond definition by words. So in the Bhashya of Avyapadeshyam, this point becomes clear, That is Avyapadesyam, you can find here. Ateva Avyapadesyam, Ateva Achindyam, Ateva Avyapadesyam. Vyapadesha. So Vyapadesha here means something which can be understood by words, by any pramanas or anything. That is called Avyapadesya. Now, what the point is, when you say that this Atman, this Turiya is Avyapadesya, we get this idea from Shabda only. That which cannot be defined or explained by words, that is Turiya. But that information also comes from Vedanta. So, in this context, Bhashya, Tikakaras refers to one important mantra in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Let's remember. Avyapadesyam means something which cannot be defined, explained by words through Shabda. The meaning is, it cannot be defined by any of the words in their Vachyartham, but can be eventually realized by following the Lakshyartham. That's why, Veda bhavanti. Taittiriya Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says in the Janaka Yajnavalkya Samvada. In that, when you reach that ultimate state, Atra Pida bhavadi, Mada amada, Loka, Aloka, Deva Veda Veda. So, at the Turiya level, even Vedas become non-Vedas. The Bhashya in the Brihadaranyaka refers to the fact that the Mimamsa or Karmakanda of Vedas cannot and do not define Brahman. Tatha Veda Sadhya Sadhana Sambandha Abhidayakaha Mantralakshanascha Abhidayakatvena Karmanga Bhudaha Adhitaha Adhyadavyascha Karma Nimittameva Sambadhyante Purushena Tat Karmadikkramanat Edasmin Kale Veda Api Aveda Bhavanti. So that is the Bhashya and Brihadaranyaka. What it means is, Avyapadesyam means something that cannot be understood, cannot be explained, cannot be defined or expounded by words in their Vachyartha. So the Avyapadesyam Shabdaihi. That means through Shabda you cannot realize this Brahman. At the same time, Shabda has got another dimension beyond the Vachyartha. The normal meaning of Shabda is, Pada Padartha Sambandha or Vag Artha Sambandha. That is the way the language functions, the connection, the link between a word and its meaning, and the word and its implication. So that is Vachyartha. So the Turiya cannot be expounded or understood through Vachyartha. But beyond Vachyartha, there is Lakshyartha. Lakshyartha becomes clear when we transcend the verbal dimension of a word. So you transcend the verbal dimension of the word through manana and nididhyasana. In the normal mantra shastra context, it is called, para pasindi madhyama vaikhari. From lower level, from vaikhari, madhyama, then pasindi, then para. So there is an ascending order. The lowest dimension of Padapadartha Sambandha is Vaikhari, then Madhyama, then Pashyandi, and eventually Para. At the Para level, through Manana Nididhyasana, you reach the Lakshyartha of Shabda. At that level, you will find that the very Shabda in its transcendental dimension will take you to the realization of Turiya. So that the point is eventually brought out here. Eka eva atma pratyasara pramana bhudam, etc. Atma pratyasa. So, that is Tatturiyam egatma pratyasaram atma itteva upasita. In that mantra context, it becomes clear. Ekatma pratyasaram. Now the next bhashya statement is ekatma pratyasaram. If Turiya is avyapadesyam vishabdehi, if it's beyond description or understanding through Shabda, then how do you understand it? The bhashya says, even at the Shabda level, there is a way to realize Turiya. What is that? Ekatma pratyasaram. Jagradadi sthaneshu eka eva ayam atma iti abhibhichari ya pratyeha. Tena anusaraniyam. So even during the waking state, if you contemplate and meditate on what is that experiencer, Jagradadi sthaneshu, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti sthaneshu. In these three states, in the Avasthatraya, there is one pratyaya. Pratyaya here means bodhaspiranam is called pratyaya here. Pratyaya means bodhaspiranam. There is one bodhaspiranam, one inherent awareness, which is eka. It is one. So, Jagradadi sthaneshu ekakha. And it is ekatma pratyasaram. It is the essence of, it is the foundation, it is the adhara of the three states. And it is present as one experiencer. In all the three states, the I. So, I am the one who had this Jagrat experience. I am the one who had this Swapna experience. I am the one who had this Sushupti experience. There is one I aham pratyaya, the bodhaspiranam, that is present in all the three states. Now, if one could detach from the aham pratyaya, if one could detach the Shabda dimension, then only bodhaspiranam remains. That bodhaspiranam is the same as Turiya. That is the implication here. Remember, this is a very subtle form of bhashya. If you got doubt, you should ask later. So, bhashya says that Shabda cannot define or explain the Turiya. But what it means is Shabda at the Vachyartha level. At the Vachyartha here, in a very imperfect translation, we can say literal level. But its real meaning is the same Shabda has got another dimension, and that is the Pratyaya dimension, Bodhaspirana dimension. So how do we realize that Bodhaspirana dimension? By contemplating and meditating, who am I who had this Jagrat experience, Swapna experience, Sushupti experience, and who was present in all the three states. It is called, Jagradi Sthaneshu Ekakha. One, the same reality, present in all the three Jagradi Sthaneshu. Eka eva ayam atma. Atma here means our own aham pratyaya surupa, aham surupa. Iti avibhichari. He remains unchanging. It has no vibhichara. It has not changed. It is the same in all the three states. Yap pratyeha, that bodhaspiranam, tena anusaraniyam. You have to follow, you have to do anusandhanam of that Bodhaspiranam. That Bodhaspiranam, which is present in all the three stages, which is Abhyabhichari, which is Eka, which is in the nature of Atma, the Aham Pratyaya, Aham Bodha, that you should contemplate on. Then you will be able to detach the Shabda dimension from the Bodhaspurana dimension. Then you will realize there is that inherent spiritual awareness within me which was present in all the Jagrajadi Sthaneshu, Jagra state, Swapna state, Sushupti state. That should be understood. Tena Anusaraniyam. Because that Bodhaspiranam is the Adhara of Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti. It is our own Sarupa, it is our own Aham Bodha Sarupa. Athava Eka Atma Pratyeka Sara Pramanam Yasya Turiyasya Adhigame. Another one is Athava or Eka Atma Pratyeka Sara Pramanam. That Atma Pratyaya is a technical word that Bhashyakara uses. It is Turiya, Atma Pratyaya. That Bodhaspiranam that remain, that is our true nature, that goes beyond this Sabda dimension, that is Atma Pratyaya, Saraka, that is Sarupa, Pramanam, Turiyasya Adhigame Pramanam. Turiyasya means Turiyasya Jnane Pramanam. So Turiya is beyond all pramanas, we already said. Sarva Pramana Vadhi, Sarva Pramana Nishedha. It is beyond all epistemological tools and instruments. It is beyond words. It is beyond any kind of empirical comprehension. All that we understood. But still there is a Pramana. What is the Pramanam? That Tena Anusaraniyam Eka Atma Pratyeka. When we think of that one reality that is present in the three states, Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti state, which is Eka, which is Atma, which is our own Aham Pratyaya, which is Abhyabhichari, which is unchanging, which is Pratyaya means Bodhaspiranam, that should be Anusaraniyam, that you should do Anusandhana through intense, constant meditation and contemplation. Then we will realize it is our own true nature, it is our own Sarupa, that is Turiya. Tat Turiyam Ekatma Pratyasaram. That Turiya is, that's again Bhashya definition. It is Ekatma Pratyasaram. It is the essence of that Pratyaya, the Bodhaspurana. And it is beyond tribudis. When we contemplate and meditate on that reality, at some point we will go beyond the tribudi. Tribudi dhyata, dhyanam, dhyaya. Means the triple foundations of meditation. Means the one who meditates and act of meditation and object of meditation. These 3-5 factors. At the highest level of meditation, we will forget, we will transcend the memory or the idea that we are meditating. When we become one with Dhyaya Vastu, what you call the object of meditation, then Dhyata, the meditator, and Dhyaya Vastu, the object of meditation, becomes one. So there is no meditation, there is only identification, the transcendental identification. It is called transcending tribudis, pramana, prameya and pramada, going beyond. And also dhyanam, dhyaya and dhyata, all three becoming one, transcending all the three. At that stage what happens? Taturiyam ekatma pratyasaram. So Atma eva upasida. This is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Vachyastai. It is Sutehe. These are all very, very important mantras. Atma eva upasida. These are all After Mahavakyas, many of these Vakyas have got important place in the Upanishad literature, which are being a subject of controversy between the author of Brahma Siddhi, that is Mandana, and Advaitis. That's a different subject now. So at that stage, as I mentioned, Vedaha Aveda Bhavanti, Pida Apita, Mata Amata, and you find in the Brihadaranyaka Sudhi. At that time, you transcend all these. In Vedas become Avedas, means you transcend even the Vedas. That's the idea behind. That is, you transcend the Shabda. So, at the point, at that higher level of meditation, we will be able to realize our own true dimension as Bodhasphuranam. We go beyond the tributes. The Bhashya continues. Antaprajna prajnatvadi sthani dharma pradishedha. The Bhashya continues. So, Antaprajnam, the Bhishprajnam, etc. So, the Vishwa Taijasa Prajna, by this Nantaprajnam, etc., these mantras, they reject this sthani dharma, Vishwa Taijasa Prajna. Means it mentions that it specifically mentions that the Turiya is beyond the Vishwa Taijasa Prajna. Kritaka. Prapanchopashamam iti jagradi sthani dharma bhava uchyate. Prapanchopashamam. At that stage, prapancha, these empirical experiences, gets dissolved into Turiya. That is, at that Turiya experience, the Avasthatraya is completely gone. That's the idea behind. Remember, the disappearance of empirical world can happen even in Sushupti state. But it will come back, because Sushupti state is the state of seeds, agrahanam. Afterwards, you come back to waking state. But a person, when he realizes his Turiya state, what he understands is the so-called empirical experiences, waking state, dream state, and deep sleep experiences, are themselves founded on Turiya, and Turiya is present in all the three, and Turiya itself is beyond all the three. So, at that stage, Prapancha, the empirical world, as a separate entity, no longer exists for a person who realizes the Turiya stage. Atah eva shantam. Shantam here means we transcend all chitta vrittis. That's the meaning shantam here. All kama krodhas, pain and pleasure, raga dveshas, kama krodhas, all the dual states of mind, all the vikshipta state of mind, sukha, dukkha, pain and pleasure, all are transcended. So it's called shantam. That is niruddha state. I mean going beyond all chitta vrittis. Avikriyam, because there is no chitta vrittis, there is no vikara, there is no change. Shivam, Shiva means Ananda Swarupa. It becomes auspicious. Shiva Mangalam. Yada Advaitam, Veda Kalpana Rahitam. Then we realize that Advaita state. So Advaita has got two aspects. One is that which includes everything, like as we mentioned, Turiya is present in all the three states. Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti states. Turiya is present. At the same time, Turiya is Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, Vilakshanam also. It is beyond all the three. So, it is beyond all the three. At the same time, it includes all the three. That's why it is called Advaitam. Bheda Vigalparihidam Chadurtham Turiyam Manyande Ityartha. Chadurtham. So Chadurtham is used here because it is used in that context here. Like these Jagrut states, Swapna states, Sushupti state, and Turiya states. It's only by context that word Chaturtham is used here. And then the word Chaturtham becomes relevant only so long as we are still seeking. When we realize the Turiya state, then we understand, on the one hand, it includes all the three. On the other hand, it transcends all the three. So that's a sense in which the word Advaitam is used. Then Pratiyamana Padatraya Rupa Vailakshanyat. So it is Padatraya Rupa Vailakshanyat. It is beyond Vilakshana. It is separate and different from all the three states. At the same time, it includes all the three states. Sa Atma, that Atma, one's own Surupa, Sa Vikneyaha. It is Vikneya. So long as we are not aware of it, it is Vikneya, something to be known. But at the same time, when we realize it, then we will realize that it is not something to be known, it is our own Surupa. So that's the meaning in which the word Vikneya is to be understood. So Vikneya means to be known. Savikneha. To be known. So long as we are still seeking to realize a Turiya state, so long as we are still progressing, we are still at the Sadhaka state, it is something to be realized. But when we realize it, then we will understand, we will realize that it is not something to be realized, because it is our own real nature, our own Swarupa. That's meaning here. Pratiyamana sarpa danda bhuchidradi vidirikta yatha rajjuhu. The old Rajju sarpa analogy is brought in here. Pratiyamana sarpa danda bhuchidradi vidirikta yatha rajju tata tattvamasi ityadi vakyartha. So you find the same in the Rajju sarpa, in the snake rope analogy. When we look at the rope, at the beginning we may think it's a snake, and later on, maybe when we closely observe, because there is not enough light, we may think, no, it is a curved stick, a danda. And maybe at another point of time, we may perhaps think, no, it is not a stick, it is a crack on the floor. And maybe after some time we may think that it is just a thin stream of water. So it goes on changing. Like that, in the same Adhara, same Turiya, this Jagrut state, Swapna state and Sushupti state, Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna, they continue changing. When we realize that it is the Turiya itself that is present in all the three states, then what happens? Then all these superimpositions, all the Vikalpas will immediately disappear. So the point is, all these four objects were seen on the same Rajju. The snake idea, the stick idea, the crack on the floor idea, the thin stream of water idea. All these Vikalpas and wrong impressions were seen, superimposed on the same piece of rope. Like that, the waking state, dream state and deep sleep state. The experiencer of the waking state, Vishwa, the experiencer of the Swapna state, dream state, Taijasa, the experiencer of the Sushupti state, Prajna. They are all seen and superimposed upon the same Turiya. Without Turiya, they cannot exist. But Turiya is still different. Without the piece of Rajju, the rope, you will not have any wrong ideas, whether it is snake or piece of stick or anything, all these wrong ideas are superimposed upon the same object. But the object is different. At the same time, these three wrong notions, or four wrong notions in Sarpa, Bhuchidra, Danda, Jaladhara, all these superimpositions are based on the same Rajju. Like that, Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna, Jagrit, Swapna state, all the empirical experiences are founded on the same Turiya state. When we realize the Turiya state, then we will realize that the same Turiya exists everywhere, everything. It includes everything, at the same time it is different from everything. That is the meaning of it. Vyatirikta yatha rajju tata tattvamasi ityadi vakyartha. Tattvamasi mahavakyartha, Bhagatyaga Lakshana. When you remove all the ubhatis, then we understand the Kutastha Chaitanyam is the same as the omnipresent divine reality, the Paramatma. So that is realized when you remove all ubhatis. Satma adrushto drashta nahi drashtuhu drishtehi vibirilobo vidyate ekshara bhirudharnika smriti. The same thing, Ityadi ukto yaha sa vikneya iti bhuda purvagatya. So these mantras are being explained earlier. They mean the same context. Viknyadu, Vijnadi, Vibirilovo, Vidyate, etc. You find the same. Next one is Ityadi ukto yaha sa vikneya iti bhuda purvagatya. The idea is the word Vikneya is used only because Bhuda Purvagatya. Before you realize a Turiya state, that Turiya state is something to be known, to be attained, to be realized. Not that it is something different, but it's only in the relative context, that is a Bhuda Purvagatya. When you realize this, then you understand where it was after all our own Swarupa. We are not going from one state of ignorance to a state of knowledge. We are actually removing the veil, the curtain, and once we remove the curtain, we realize our own Swarupa. Just like you bringing light, then all the superimpositions, all the vikalpas, like a stick or crack on the floor, or the snake, all these vikalpas, superimpositions, wrong ideas, wrong impressions are completely gone. The veil is removed, the curtain is taken away, removed. That's all. So it is something to be known so long as we are not aware of it. When we become aware of it, then we also come to know that it is not something to be known, it is our own Swarupa, our own real, true nature. Jnate dvida bhava means when we realize this, then we transcend the pramanas, the pramana, prameya and pramada, dhyata, dhyanam, dheya, all the three buddhis, triple conditions of knowledge are completely transcended. That is Jnade Dvida Bhava. Now, so far, till this Bhashya is over. Actually, Bhashyakara has completed his exposition of the whole of Mandukya Upanishad. Next, the Bhashya begins with, of course, with the Karigas, and also there are a few more mantras left, but they are only an extension of the same ideas which are already being explained up to the 7th mantra. Nivrutte sarva dukkhanam ishana prabhuravya advaita sarva bhavanam devastudyo vibhusmrutah. So Bhashya begins, Prajna Taijasa Vishwalakshananam Sarva Dukkhanam Nivritteha Ishanaka Turiya Atma Ishana Ityasya Padasya Vyakhyanam Prabhu Iti. So Prajna Taijasa Vishwalakshananam Sarva Dukkhanam Nivritteha. Ishanaha Prabhu Turiyatma. So this realization of Turiya is the ultimate remedy for all problems, all dukkha, all feelings of incompleteness or imperfection. What are the dukkhas? Prajna, Taijasa and Vishwa. That means all manovrittis. In the Jagra state and Swapna state, waking state and dream state, we have these chittavrittis, manovrittis, pain and pleasure, sukha, dukkha, raga, dvesha, all this, the plurality, nanatum, all this will be there. All these will disappear only when we realize Turiya. That is, Turiya is Ishana, Turiya Atma. Ishana ityasya padasya vyakhanam Prabhu iti. Dukkha nivrittim pradi prabhavati. Mean the Prabhu, that Turiya has got the ability, the capacity to take us beyond all chittavrittis, beyond all dukkha. So dukkha nivrittim pradi prabhavati. It is only that state can help us, can enable us to transcend all feelings of imperfections and dukkha, all problems. Because at other levels, normally during the empirical experiences, when we work for something, at that time we may be putting all our energy. Then we attain it, perhaps we will have a feeling of satisfaction. But that is only a transition in the field of manovrittis, When we attain it, we acquire new manovrittis, so they will continue. So when we realize our Turiya state, then all chittavrittis, all the dukkhas will completely disappear. Dukkha nivrittim pradi prabhuhur bhavati iti arthaha. Tad vijnana nimittatvat dukkha nivrittehe. The Turiya vijnana nimittatvat. When we realize the Turiya dimension, then we acquire, when we attain this dukkha nivritti. Avyaya na veti. Sarupa na vibhijarati na chyavate ityetat. So the Turiya. Once you reach that state, then you realize that your own Sarupa is that transcendental state which remains the same without any change. So sometimes these ideas are discussed in the normal context. What happens to a normal person, a Jivan Mukta, when he lives in this world? So what is the difference between a person who has reached this state? How does he look at the world? How does he live in this world? What's the difference? So in many of the Tikakaras will explain that this is more or less the same language in which you find Lord Krishna explains the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. Prajagadi Sarvan Parthamano Gadan Atmanni Vatmana Tushta Sthita Prajna Sthadochidekshata. Because of course in the Gita the teacher is coming down to the state of the student, but Mandukya Upanishad is a statement from the highest level, so it doesn't come down to the state of the student. That's the only difference. So the idea is a person who has realized Turiya state, he will reach a point where he is totally free from any pain and pleasure. It's not that he will have his life very, like a bed of roses, not at all. What it means is he will be able to look upon pain and pleasure, good and bad, from a state of equanimity, because he has established himself in that state which is beyond all the empirical variations of pain and pleasure, sukha and dukkha, good and bad, and so on. So that's the idea behind. That's why avyaya na vyeti, there is no change. It remains the same. Why? Sarupat na vibhijarati, na chyavade ityedat. So Such a person who has reached the Turiya state, he remains always aware of his own Swarupa, his own transcendental state. Kutaha yasmat advaitaha sarvabhavanam sappadinam rajjuradvaya satyacha. So an example is given here, again Rajju Sarpabhranti. Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna. All these states are as unreal as the Vikalpas associated with Rajju. The Sarpa, Bhuchidra, Danda, all these are superimpositions. This be superimposed upon Rajju, the piece of rope. Similarly, all the experiences of good and bad and pain and pressure, all these are changing moods of human mind, vikalpas, or maybe wrong notions that we associate with our own real Swarupa. But the person who has reached that Turiya state, he identifies himself with that Turiya state. So he is always aware of his own Swarupa. It's just like somebody who is in a room, he knows, he has put the rope there, he knows it is a rope, he knows it's a Rajju, but a stranger coming to the room and telling you who know that's a Rajju, no, it is they fight over. 2-3 strangers coming to the room and they fight over. It is somebody says it is a snake, another person says it is a stick, another person says it is a thin stream of water. They go on fighting, but you don't fight because you know that it is a piece of rope. So the person who has reached the Turiya state, he is always aware of his own true nature. Just that the person who was in the room all the time knew it was a piece of rope. He is not bothered and doesn't quarrel with anyone. Because he is able to look upon all these superimpositions as irrelevant. Similarly, the person who has reached the Turiya state, Swarupat na vibhijarati. He doesn't change. There is no modification for his mental state. So that's the idea behind. Okay, so